since it's cranberry season, there's different ways to use cranberries. You've probably seen cranberry apple combination before, but this is a little easier one. Whatever kind of local apples you have is great, like 3 of them. Like 2 cups of cranberries, fresh ones, obviously. These are local from New Jersey or wherever you can get cranberries cranberries, fresh. Honey. I got local honey, but any honey will work. I've got about a third of a cup of honey. I might add more because it might not be sweet enough. And I got the good old local apple cider, like a pint of local apple cider, which is awesome. You want to use a cider, you don't want to use apple juice. Cider's a little better, a little more flavor there. I drank a little bit, so I'm going to add a little more of that. So we're going to cut the apples up first, get those going. So I just peeled the apples, and I was just tasting them. They're so good. You know, local apples, when you can get them, are really the best. So we're going to cut our apple in half. Then we're going to cut it in quarters, right? Then what you're going to do is you're going to go on an angle to get your core out. There's your core out like that. Okay. Off to the side. Don't worry, they're not going to brown by the time you get them cooking. So we're good. I'm going to cut it down again. And you're going to get it like in 6s. So that's like quarters into 6 6s, which is your dice. You don't want them too small because they're going to cook down a bit when we add them to our cranberry mixture. So those are your apples. Next, we got our apples all cut up, right? Don't worry, it won't brown in time. We're going to put in our pint of apple juice, cider, excuse me. We're going to put in our cranberries, and we're going to put in our honey. Yes, slowly but surely you're going to get all that honey in there and get that going. We're not going to do the apples yet. We want to get our cranberries, we're going to put them on the fire soon. We're going to get them all opened up before we add our apples, okay? There's our honey in there. We're going to go on the fire now. We're putting our cranberry and apple juice and honey on a medium heat. We're going to bring that up to a simmer. Starting to come to a simmer, we're also going to add 1/8 of a teaspoon of allspice. That's 1/2 of a quarter teaspoon. 1/8 of a teaspoon of allspice. That's basically like 3 nice pinches of allspice. So total simmer time should be about 15 minutes there before we get ready to add our apples. And of course your cranberries are opening up. So we're just about there. They're getting really soft. And then after the 15 minutes, we're going to add our apples. There we go. You need to use firm apples. You don't want to use mealy apples that aren't going to hold up as much. Those apples in, we're going to bring it to a simmer for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to turn it off. So we let this rest for about a half an hour, and you want to drain some of it and put it into a bowl that you're going to store it in, or a container. You're going to have some juice left over, so you don't need all the juice in here. It's all about the cranberry flavor, flavoring the apples. Because, like I said, you don't want to over simmer the apples. You want the apples to hold together because they're going to cool down. And you can have this at breakfast. You can have it as a side, like a side kind of compote with anything from a Thanksgiving meal to any kind of dinner meal. To have it as a snack too as well. So it's got some sweetness, but it's not overly sweet. And it's got, of course, the acid from the cranberries. And you get a little bit of crunch left from the apples, which is good.